I've got some really great upcycles today, and I hope you're going to find some inspiration. The first thing that I'm going to be working on is this vase that I found at the thrift store. It was broken. Somebody had glued it back together. It doesn't look very good right now, but wait until I'm finished with it because I'm going to do a painting technique that's going to make this look like an old ceramic vase. Went to the hardware store and I bought a little container of spackling. This is really great for smoothing out holes or cracks and things. They often use it for drywall, but it's great for DIY projects like this. I'm putting on a pair of gloves and I'm going to just smear it. There's no really way of doing this properly. It can get messy. We just want to fill in all those little cracks or holes and make more of a smooth surface. It's also going to make that vase stronger in case there wasn't enough glue in places, and it's going to bond it all together. So I'm just going to get messy here and I'm going to smear it all over this vase right down to the bottom. And I'm going to be creating a little bit of texture with it too. And it doesn't have to be completely uniform over the whole vase. You can have places that are thicker in some places and thinner in others. Don't worry about it. We just want to get it covered. And the nice thing about this product also is it's pink, but as it dries, it turns white. So then you know that it's ready to put on a second coat. This is all white now, and you can see the beautiful texture that I'm starting to create. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to put on another thicker layer. And I'm going to have this one really not uniform at all. I'm going to have bumps and ridges and lots of texture in it. You can find this product at any hardware store, and you can also find it on Amazon. I'll put the link down below in the description. Once I have this vase completely covered, I'm going to go in with my gloved hands and just pat it up and down, and it's giving it a stippled look. Now we're going to wait for that pink hue of the spackling to turn white. And once it's completely dry, I'm going to go in with my hands and I'm just going to knock off any high edges of that spackling on the vase. And then we're ready to go on to the next step. And this next step is the magic potion to making this look like an old vessel or an old ceramic vase. I've got some homemade chalk paint and I'm just going to sprinkle in some dirt. This is a little bit of sand. There's pebbles. I just got this out of my garden and I'm going to incorporate it into this chalk paint. It's a little bit thick. I might add a little bit of water to it so it spreads a little bit easy. But now we're going to paint on top of this spackling. This is going to create even more texture and it's going to stick to that spackling really well. I'm going to go over that whole base, patting up and down, and you don't have to even get it all covered. You can have pieces that don't have any paint and some that do, but can you see this gorgeous texture that it's making? I just love this technique, and you can take an ugly old vase that you found at the thrift store and upcycle it into something that's modern looking and will suit your home decor better on a budget. Once that paint has dried, I'm going to go back in with that dirt and just rub it in. It's going to fill in all those little nooks and crannies and it's going to give that aged look. And I'm just going to rub it right in until I'm happy with the desired effect. And if you don't have any dirt handy, you can always use some cinnamon. That creates a really great color too. Once it was all finished, I sprayed it up with my polyacrylic sealer and I used a matte finish. And this is what I created from that ugly vase that was broken and somebody had tried to glue together. And I've upcycled it into a modern piece of home decor on a budget. Next upcycle, I found this little wooden box. It's been homemade. Somebody's made it, put a lot of love into it, but it needs some TLC. I'm not going to change it much, and I'm actually not even going to paint it because I love the color of it, but it does need to have some decoupaged paper in the base of it. It looks like maybe the stain has not been blended in very well in the bottom. So I'm just going to measure out a piece of my scrapbooking paper. I'm going to cut it to the size that I need, and then I'm going to use my Mod Podge mat and I'm going to glue it to the bottom of this little box. These little trinket boxes are really easy to find at the thrift store. I see them quite often and they're a great way to upcycle for gifts or for Christmas presents. I'm just going to use my Mod Podge mat. I'm going to put a light coat on the bottom of that box and then just lay that scrapbooking paper on top of it. You don't want to put too much Mod Podge down. If you do, it's going to have a tendency to bubble and wrinkle. You don't need very much, just a light coat. And then I'm just going to press it down, make sure that it's stuck really well, get any bubbles and wrinkles out of it, and then I'm going to go back in with just a very light coat of that Mod Podge to seal it all up. I think the top needed a handle. I went into my stash and I found this beautiful black handle, and I had some old screws, and I'm just going to screw it to the top of this box. Thrifting for gifts isn't just budget friendly. It's about finding unique treasures with heart. Gift more for less, because thoughtful doesn't have to mean expensive. And I've taken this little box, added a handle, put a little piece of decoupaged scrapbooking paper in the bottom, and it's made a little cute catch-all box that I think would be perfect to re-gift for somebody. Next thrift store find is this little riser or tray. $2.49, and somebody spent a lot of time making this little beautiful project. I am not going to do anything to it because I love it just the way that it is. I'm going to set it up at my kitchen sink, and it's going to be a great place to keep my dish soap, and I have a little pottery dish, and I'm going to keep my scrubber brush in it. $2.50. You bet. This is an upcycle that anybody can do. It is so simple, and there are things that you can find at the thrift store all the time. This is just a candle riser. It was $1.99 and a piece off of a light fixture. And it was $2.99. And we're going to incorporate these two pieces together. The first thing that I'm going to do is clean everything up. These little glass pieces were really dusty and dirty, so I'm using my Windex and a paper towel, and I'm going to clean it all up. And then we're going to take it apart. And this was really easy to take apart. It just had little tabs, and I just used a butter knife and just really carefully just opened those up, and then those glass panels came right out. I'm going to be really careful because they're not fragile, but I don't want to break any after I've gone this far on the project. Once I had them all taken out, I'm going to take this outside, and I'm going to spray the base and this light fixture this beautiful gold. These came out absolutely beautiful, and now they're uniform and they're all the same color. We're going to incorporate these two together. We're going to really carefully put those glass pieces back together and fold those tabs down. So next time you're at the thrift store, make sure you go over to the light fixtures section and have a look around and see what you can find. Now we're ready to put these two pieces together. I'm going to get out my trusty E6000. And this is going to hold these two pieces together really well. Once I have a little bit along the base of it, I'm going to pick it up and really carefully center it onto that candle stand and then set it aside and let it dry completely. I think this came together so well, and I'm just going to use one of these puck lights that have batteries in them. You can just put the batteries in the back, press the button, and it lights up, and it's beautiful. And you can always put a votive in it too. But what a great piece to add to your home decor on a budget. This is super simple. We always see frames all the time when you're at the thrift store. This one was only $1.99, and I think I might have even got 25% off of that. Put a white piece of paper in the back, get a dry erase marker, and you have a dry erase board to do a to-do list or a grocery list or a reminder list on a beautiful picture frame that you can stick in your kitchen or at your entranceway, wherever you need a reminder. And then you just have to take a cloth and wipe it off, and you're ready for your next list. This is so easy, and you can just imagine the possibilities of all the different frames that you can find at the thrift store that you can add that will match your home and be beautiful. And lately, I have been a sucker for homemade pottery. And this was beautiful. I'm not doing anything to it. I just love it the way that it is. And somebody has taken a lot of time making this. $6.99. I just put a little votive in it and displayed it in my kitchen window. And it's beautiful. And it's so nice when you find these things because they're one of a kind. And if you were to go to a pottery studio and look for things like this, they're so expensive, but how beautiful is this? And I just loved adding this to my home decor. I hope you enjoyed today's upcycles and you found something that's maybe given you a little bit of inspiration. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.